So, welcome to another mini mind masterclass. These are always influenced by things that are going on with you guys, with my clients, with me, what I'm seeing in the world, and like everything. I love to find the lesson in life. I could find a lesson under a cold hard rock, so I can. So, the basically the day or the week that I was looking at setting up this mini master class, this is what came to my mind, and it was about self-belief. And it's a very, it's very easy to say, you just have to believe in yourself. And you can let me know in the comments and say hello if you're watching live. Like how many of you have heard, oh, just believe in yourself. You just have to believe in yourself. And for a lot of people, that doesn't really translate well because we're like, well, what the heck does that mean? What does it mean to believe in yourself? And so much of the coaching that I do with my clients is really helping them understand at a very easy level what this all means, because this is not difficult work. It's just some of the words, some of the jargon, it lands differently with different people, and then they translate it differently. And that's when you can kind of see people getting a little bit confused about what it is they need to do, what are the steps they need to take in order to build on this self-belief. And when I was just making a few notes about this, I was like, what is another way that I can say self-belief that will be understood by most people? What is another way? So when I think about self-belief, for me, it really means trusting yourself. Okay? How much do you trust yourself? And when we talk about building our self-belief, how do we build that trust with ourselves? Hi Maria. So this is a question like how much do you trust yourself? And the most successful people trust themselves immensely. From time to time, they will seek out the opinions of others, but most of the time they trust themselves. When they're seeking the opinions of others, I'm going to say they're seeking the qualified advice of others. Okay, because a lot of people ask a lot of people opinions, but it's unqualified and it's you're not going to get the right answer for you. You're getting the right answer for them, but it's not always the right answer for you. So this whole mini section is about building self-belief, but trust in yourself. So how do we do this? How do we build trust in ourselves? And that's the big burning question. And the answer to that is making decisions. And I'm not just talking about big decisions, I'm talking about even little decisions. And these decisions, they could be anything you like. And maybe you let me know if you're watching, is like, how many times have you told yourself you're going to do something and then you don't do it? We've all been there. I actually spend a lot of time being quite intentional. If I can hear my mind going, oh, we should do this, I should do this, I should do this, I go, stop. What am I actually going to do? Because this is what happens. See, every time you tell yourself you're going to do something and you don't do it, you lose a bit of trust in yourself. If your friend said to you, I'm going to cook you dinner this week, and they didn't do it, you're like, right, okay. And then the next week, I'm going to cook you dinner this week. You're like, right, okay, well, last week was one off. And then they cancelled on you again. You're like, right. And then the next week, they're like, I'm going to cook you dinner this week. You're like, okay, you might give them a third chance, but say after four times, it's like, I'm going to cook you dinner this week. You're probably going, you know what? It's okay. Because you've lost trust in the idea, not necessarily them, but the idea that they're going to follow through with making you dinner. And it's exactly the same for us as individuals. What are the things that we're telling each other ourselves on the regular that we don't do? And we're losing these chances And we're not making these decisions. And what we're doing is we're training our mind not to trust ourselves. And then when we don't trust ourselves, what do? We ask everybody else, what do you think I should do? What do you think I should do? Or if you're not asking people, what do you think I should do? You spend a lot of time in second guessing yourself. It's like, I'm not sure if I should do that. And you're back and forward. And it's the most hateful place to be in, especially if you're an entrepreneur, I find. It's because you don't move anywhere. You're not moving forward. You're not moving backwards. You're just stuck in Stucksville. And that's nearly worse than moving backwards, in my opinion. Okay? You're in the second guessing. Now, some people will say, but what about your instinct and your intuition? And my answer to that is, and everybody feels it differently, but for me is if I'm in that second guessing, shouldn't I? Intuition comes up for me and it's telling me maybe don't do something, but it's not giving me a reason why, right? There's no reason. It's like, I don't know why I shouldn't do this, but I know I shouldn't do this. Whereas if you're stuck in that kind of indecision, it's you're not going to do this because X, Y, and Z. You've already formatted a reason. That's not intuition. That's your thinking. That's your paradigms controlling that. Okay? And I hope you can feel the difference in that. Intuition is very, like, I would say unforgiving, doesn't give you any clues, but it's strong. You're like, I don't know why I should do this, but I'm going to do it anyway. I don't know why I should, not take that call, so I'm not going to take it anyway. But most of the time, if you're in second guessing, you're going to get that kind of to and fro, and you'll have a pros and cons to either side. So let's get into just giving you some small tips about how to build your self-trust. Your self-belief, your and trust in yourself. And like everything, we love to overcomplicate things, don't we? We're amazing as human beings. We love to overcomplicate things. And then we miss all the small things completely. So it could be decide today, make a decision on something. It could be a piece of clothing that you're going to wear. Is it, I'm gonna make sure I buy a bag of carrots at the supermarket, like something really, really small, right? That doesn't take too much willpower. I wouldn't say something like, "Oh, I'm not gonna have a biscuit with my cup of tea." That's who you are all the time, okay? Maria's like, oh, yes, we do. We love overcomplicating things. We do it all the time. So, like a little small thing, and just pick one thing a day, right? It could be, I'm going to. Just do one thing in your business. One simple thing. I'm going to send that email. I'm going to post that Facebook post. And even if it feels like the hardest thing to do, just make sure you follow through. Just do that one little thing. And if you did one little thing every day that you said you were going to do, your self-belief would skyrocket and you would find yourself filling up with energy and naturally gravitating towards doing more. Because you know what we love? I love getting those to-do lists done. And getting all those lists done, you know what it does? It energizes us. Like nothing feels as good and as satisfying as getting all those things ticked off the list. And you know what it's like when you don't get the things ticked off the list. You feel bad about yourself, you feel yourself shrinking, you feel tired. But when you're getting all the things done, you're feeling like you're a champion of the world. One of the things actually I always makes me feel like an absolute champion. It's really simple, is getting that slow cooker on. Getting that slow cooker on in the morning, knowing that however my day goes during the day, I've got a banging meal in that slow cooker waiting for me. And it's just amazing. It could be, I call this like your feature friend. Your feature friend things are amazing. Like doing something right now that's going to help you later on. Those are amazing decisions to make. So that is how simple this is. It's just one little decision every single day. Just and take this time now with when you're with me and I think, what could I be doing? What is one thing that I should be doing? Because You might think, and this is kind of where the danger zone comes in. Sometimes people might think, oh, sure, I said I was going to make myself a healthy breakfast, but sure, it doesn't matter. I got breakfast. But it does matter because at one point it did matter to you. Why does it not matter to you that you don't have a healthy breakfast? And then as adults, because we love to overcomplicate things, we downplay the small stuff like, oh, it doesn't matter, that's really not important, all of these things. Like I was having a conversation with a friend and they completed some work and they hadn't been paid yet. It was a few grand and they felt a bit silly getting annoyed about this couple of grand. But I was like, here's the deal. If it's important to you, it's important to you. Doesn't matter if it's 50p or £1 million. If it's important to you, it's allowed to be important to you. You're allowed to be a little frustrated. Okay, you don't have to downplay it like, oh, I'm just overreacting and it's not important. It is important. If it came to your mind and you felt that pull to do something and then you didn't do it, at one point in your life, in this week, in this day, in this hour, it was important to you. That doesn't just change like that. Okay? You can even have a wee look around your house. It's one of my favorite things to do. Go, what is it I've been putting off? It could be organizing that hot press, ladies. I think we all have, or what do you, I don't know what Americans call it, the laundry cupboard or the laundry closet. There's going to be something annoying you and you haven't made a decision on, and you've been saying you're going, oh, I must do that, I must do that, I must do that, and then you don't do it. It could be phone your friend and booked in that coffee date. Don't say we should meet up soon. Just say, get your diary out. Let's pick a date, even if it's 3 weeks from now. Pick a time and follow through. You're going to really enjoy that coffee with your friend. Send the text message you've been meaning to send. Because the more you don't send the text message, the worse you actually feel about it when you do go around to doing it. Right? There's so many little things that we can do that build in that self-belief with us. And what happens is when you do it more and more, when you follow through, you will start to see a reaction in the world. You'll see it in your business where you're following through with small tasks. It could be happier customers or an increase in sales, maybe because you're getting things done. And this is a really important thing is see all these little decisions that you're not making, they don't disappear. They actually start to compound and they build up mental load in your mind. You ever feel some days you're exhausted and you're like, I haven't even done anything? It's because you haven't cleared out the mental list in your mind. So when you're clearing out that mental list in your mind, you're gonna have so much space. You're gonna have space to really think about making more important and bigger decisions. Because maybe you're somebody who puts off the big decisions because you're like, oh, I can't even think about it because you've got too much other stuff in there. Right? And you're going to these bigger decisions with better clarity in your mind, and you make better decisions. There's less mistake, there's less error. And then as well, when you've got more space in your mind, because you're getting so good at getting stuff done, you're able to think of better ideas to and solutions to problems that you have. Whereas before you'd be like, oh, this is broken, don't know what I'm gonna do. That's it. End of thought train. Whereas you're thinking, yeah, that could do with being fixed. Maybe I should ring such and such, or maybe I'll look up here to see if I can get a replacement. It's so easy, but yet we make it so hard. Making all those little decisions every single day, clearing out that mental load is going to make such a difference to your life. And decision making is one of the core pillars in my coaching program. Like it's so vital because if you can't make decisions, how are we going to get anywhere? You know? And I remember um whenever I would go out for a family meal with my parents, say my brother was maybe there too, maybe we were older, and my stepmother could not make a decision on what she was going to order from the restaurant menu until she'd heard what we were going to have. And we used to torture her and not tell her. And she was tortured. Like she found it so impossible. It's like, what are you getting? What are you getting? What are you getting? She didn't even have the belief. She was so scared of picking the wrong thing. She didn't trust herself to pick the right thing that was going to be okay. And that's this wee trivial, and maybe we're having a wee laugh about it, but you can see how that for some people it would really actually like take away from their enjoyment. But we used to tease her, and then we wouldn't tell her what we were getting, and then we'd make her go first to the waiter or the waitress to put in her order, and she used to be absolutely raging. And that's another idea for you. Maybe it is the next decision you have to make. Make it on your own. Don't ask anybody. Don't Google it. For goodness sake, don't AI it. Use your mind. It's an amazing gift. It's way more powerful and amazing than I'll ever realize, you'll ever realize. Use it. Give yourself a wee chance. If there's a decision you need to make, put yourself in like, I'm going to make this on my own. And I tell you what, you'll make a better decision because the opinions of others do actually sway us in the wrong direction sometimes, even if they come from the most, the best place and the most loving place and the most supportive place. You're coming from there thinking. So that could be you. Make your decision on your own. Don't be asking your spouse what they think, their friends what they think. Don't be going on a Facebook group and asking somebody. I see it all the time. People are like, where should we go? Where should we eat? No, why would you not want to do it on your own? Have a little think about it. Make the decision on your own. Make it really, really small. Okay? That is my thought process for today when it comes to self-belief. If you have any questions, as always, pop them in the comments. I'm always happy to answer and engage in that conversation. But I hope that's kind of given you that first step because self-belief can be such a big thing and you're thinking, oh, I'm doing it all wrong. Well, those are lots of little simple ideas on how to do it right and how to build that trust in yourself and your self-belief. So I'm going to wrap it up there for today. Thank you so much for watching me. Let me know in the comments if you've liked this video, and you can also leave suggestions of other things you'd like to learn about. And I will see you next time for our next Mini Mind Masterclass. Bye, everyone.